corporate news.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and of course, thank you for sticking with us. Now, the Capital Markets Chief Executive Officer, Keith Karegeya, has called for government's intervention to ban lump sum payments for retirement benefits in Africa. He cited studies showing that 97% of retirees tend to misuse their retirement benefits when they receive it as lump sums instead of investing it wisely. These remarks were made during the World Investors Week celebration, where Karegeya stressed that the need for a more direct approach to address this issue is paramount. The proposal aims to protect retirees' financial security and promote responsibility for financial planning for their retirement years.
In 2020 report by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that retirees with pension income were far more likely to remain financially stable than those who had cashed out the lump sum. 73% of these with regular payments could maintain the same spending levels after 5 years, compared to only 56% of those who had chosen the lump sum. Speaking to CEOs during the World Investors Week celebration, the Capital Markets Authority Chief Executive Officer Keith Karegeya advocated for government action to outlaw the payment of retirement benefits in lump sum amounts.
I keep talking about pension reform. It's a bit of a swear word in some circles now, but the one thing I really want to see as far as pension reform is concerned is the cessation or the stopping of paying lump sums on retirement. There is no reason why when we get to the age of 55 and have to draw our savings from NSSF, we should get lump sums. The most we should get as a lump sum is 1/3 of our savings, and 2/3 should be paid out as a monthly pension until we die. Now, I know many of you here think you know how to use your lump sums, and you probably don't like what you're hearing, right? We all want to be close to our lump sums, even if we're going to misuse them, and most of us misuse those lump sums. The surveys and studies have been done. 97% of people who draw lump sums misuse them. And I'm emphasizing that. So we need to protect you from yourselves. I wish the government could take this really seriously and just ban the payment of lump sums. I've been talking to many Africans, Namibia, Swaziland, Zambia. I think we're the only country that pays lump sums on retirement. And it's very unfortunate. I know I've had discussions with the people of NSSF who say, but with 18 million.
He claims that research indicates that 97% of pensioners in Africa who take their retirement benefits in lump sum misuse them than investing.
No other option. But I can assure you, those of you who have plans of becoming businessmen when you retire at the age of 55, you are very likely to join that statistic of people who lose that money. So please help me and join the chorus of voices pushing for the banning of paying lump sums on retirement, even if you think you can use your money well. I'm one of those who I know I can use my money well, but for the sake of Uganda, I really want that practice to stop.
Studies further indicate that the retirees who cash out their pensions in lump sum are less likely to maintain the same levels of financial stability after 5 years.
The key role for this is to enhance investor protection and ensure that investors are well informed and take into consideration the different aspects of investment. Financial innovation is opening up new business opportunities for the industry and potential benefits for investors. In this context, we have created an ecosystem where we cooperate in increasing financial and consumer protection at different levels, including financial education.
First time to look at Uganda. Immediately after listing, in 2013, we went to raise debt financing, and cumulatively over the last decade, we have raised over $350 million of external monies, which again we have deployed to invest in infrastructure.
For some, a lump sum pension payment makes sense. For others, having less to upfront capital is better. In either case, pension payment should be used with a mindset of having these resources support you throughout the retirement. If you're not sure which option is the best for you, consider speaking with a financial advisor to see whether lump sum or regular payment schedule is the best strategy for you. At the same World Investors Week celebration, Paul Wiso, the Chief Executive Officer of Uganda's Securities Exchange, says that there is a need for financial education.
What should Ugandans do, lump sums or monthly pension?
It must be monthly pension.
Why?
Because no, you've heard from him. He said 97 of very many Africans
where does he get those
who get their pensions in lump sums tend to misuse that money than investing it.
But that's
So
true.
it's from that basis that he is saying, okay, let us do it monthly pension. Yes.
That's true, because with that you lose the risk of outliving your money. The risk moves down from the employer to you, and in most cases it could be outlived and even mismanaged, like poor stock performance for people that like to invest in stocks, fraud, or even bad spending. Imagine saving your entire life, working, and you receive your NSSF fund is close to 200 million per se, and you receive it in a lump sum, that much.
And you just take home a sack,
Anything can happen.
that money. Anything
just
can
like
happen.
that, you're 20
I
years
think
of work.
Kalejira is making a point in this regard. You imagine, and you have 200 million, the money that you've worked for the rest of your years, and you have a sack of money in your house. That's what we mean by receiving that money in lump sum. You have a sack of money in your house. Do you know you may get attempted,
That's
or
a
maybe
mistake. That's a mistake that can affect your life for the rest.
yes. So I think getting monthly is very important. Like he has said, you should get a quarter of that money until you die.
Even if it's not a quarter, what he suggested was the most that one can take is a third of their income, and then 2/3 should be going monthly pension. I mean, you have stopped working, you're no longer receiving salary. At least receive pension monthly until you die, instead of receiving it in. And I'm sure that Uganda really does that. At least the only advantage with that, I think, is that money circulates in the economy. Once you receive it that much and you're a big spender, you would want to spend it. But I mean, what type of person of that age would make such a bad investment decision?
They just don't need that. They just don't need that. But like the statistics also showing, like in the story that we showed, we're saying 73 of these regular payments could maintain the same spending levels after 5 years, compared to only 76 of these who had chosen the lump sum. You get? So then 73, they maintain their spending levels. Should you get that 100 million in your house, your spending level is going to increase, and you may end up not investing.
Yeah,
this
of course,
money.
obviously.
So I think
only that the issue with the savers, the savers fund, the NSSF fund, those other companies that do save for the future, for retirement. Sometimes they used to make it hard for these people to get their money.
By the way,
they used to make it hard. They frustrated people. Like you work for months, you've not received that money. So people get frustrated.
has it
People
been
get
happening
tired.
that people suffer to get their money, their pension?
But for the first time, I think even occasionally, last year we saw what happened with the midterm when they announced the midterm benefits. People rushed to get their midterm. They even halted the process because of the traffic that was at NSSF House.
Yeah, because people know the stresses, they know how hard it is to access your money. But now they made it easier for the midterm. For the midterm at least, the midterm is okay. People go, and then the bureaucracy has now reduced compared to how it was before the midterm access. But these people used to make it hard for Ugandans. So you get the money when you're already frustrated. Just like, let me just take my money, take it home, and then it sits there, and you're like satisfied you're seeing the money, and then you end up spending it. That is wrong. Though people get frustrated and get tired.
We are talking about Ugandans that actually have NSSF. When we talk about such Ugandans that receive NSSF, Ugandans that are with other retirement benefit schemes like MAPS, it is the second to NSSF under UBRA. The Makerere retirement benefits, it's second
Also
to NSSF. Yes, and even government. And then there is one for the army and the police.
Only that for the government, so many cases come up. Sometimes people have not received received their pension for some good years. People complain, they are ghost pensioners.
Yes.
Such
And
issues
usually when
come
such
up.
happen, they announce and they give it like 3 more announcements, and then they say if you cannot come for the money, there's no
Then the
money.
money is
Yeah,
not-
but me, I think.
But guys, let us
my
talk-
point where I was driving at is that we're talking about people that have these privileges to access this retirement. How about the informal that do not have?
I know. I know it's hard, and there are very many.
70%. Every time I talk about the informal, it just reflects 70% of the economy of the population that
Do you have
don't receive
NSSF?
NSSF.
Do you have any?
I have NSSF. But guys, away from that, let us talk about what is going on at the moment. The World Investors Week. We're in the World Investors Week. We're celebrating
What's
it
new with
in
it?
Uganda.
What's new with
Now it's looking forward to harnessing the whole road to having investors, not only investors in different business, but also in the stock exchange. So the capital markets, together with the Uganda Securities Exchange, are working together to celebrate the World Investors Week. What are your expectations in these celebrations? What do you think should be worked upon in the?
I think they should make these things be understood to the local person, because these things are too corporate. They're working for people who are working already in government. Those people have money. Go to the informal sector. Teach them about capital markets. Teach them about these things so that they understand. Make it in the language they understand. If you go to Gulu, put it in a local language so that people understand these things. Maybe some people in the informal sector are there with their money, wanting to save or put their money on stocks, but they don't understand this thing. This thing remains at Serena and wherever in those corporate people.
Yeah, I was there. I was there, and another
point.
person said it the same way you said it.
Yeah.
That we tend to did a copy and paste of the Western capital market style,
Exactly.
and then brought it here. When we
Localize it.
actually don't understand
You
it.
can localize it.
You get so
localize
that's
it.
what I was saying. So capital markets guys tend to be in high end and then
Exactly.
coming down.
And yet you
to us
have
in terms
Ugandans
of-
that do not have the information and knowledge, and they are not literate about it, but they have the capacity.
Exactly.
Invest.
They have the capacity. If they are made to understand this type of thing, this type of market, and whatever. But this thing is too corporate. Actually, if you don't go to school and then learn these things, even the learned people don't understand capital markets.
My expectation, Pedison, would be, I am really hoping that with the theme of World Investors Week, whichever it would be, it should be able to tackle on increasing the investor coverage on the scope of Uganda. If we're talking about investors, how many have we registered? Perhaps on the security exchange, how is Uganda Security Exchange performing compared to that one of Nairobi's? Talk about the new, what we're seeing with MTN, what we saw, the last year now, what we're seeing with Airtel this year of Ugandans buying shares, like Hanifa said, literacy. So if you want to increase the investment portfolio, increase the literacy.
But still, capital markets is much as we are not yet there. But we are trying, though. What I would encourage them, maybe like Hanifa said, they should come back to the ground.
Exactly.
Let people understand what capital markets is. What does it mean to invest in stocks? You get what does it mean to buy shares? People are making a lot of money buying shares. I'm telling you, people are buying shares with these telecommunication companies. Those who have money are using their money to get much more money.
Exactly.
I'm telling you that. But the problem is we are not informed. Our people are not aware
We are
of those
skeptical.
things. Yes.
We're actually informed, we are just skeptical because we don't understand.
Exactly, you don't understand. The language is too complex for us to understand. Ugandans want easy things. We Ugandans want easy things. If you complicate things, if you come I would give an example of artists here. If you come as an artist with the hip hop too much English, you of course you'll have your audience, but it won't be compared to this other easy local person. For example, this chap, this kid here, this guy. I'm forgetting.
You forgot him.
Alien Skin came and made music easy for Ugandans. You just say party, and then you say yes, and then they just go with the vibe. And he had this huge people following him, and he made a lot of money in a very short period of time. So Ugandans don't want these things that complicate their lives. Make it easy for them to understand. There, they'll embrace it.
Well, of course, more in company news, we are now looking at the safety of healthy clubs. The National Building Review Board has raised concerns about the safety of numerous sauna and steam baths across the country. The study, which examined 21 randomly selected health clubs, revealed that 90% of these clubs rely on firewood as a fuel source, as many of the designs and installation methods do not adhere to the engineering principles. Let's have a look at this report.
In September 2019, there was an explosion incident at a health club located in Narakira municipality, resulting in injuries to multiple individuals. Another explosion took place on July 2nd, 2021, at the Experience Inn Health Club in Wakiso, tragically claiming 2 lives. Subsequent investigations determined that the root cause of both explosions was an excessive build-up of pressure.
Only safe for as long as the person putting in firewood doesn't put in too much. That's when you're safe. If by mistake he gives more firewood than required, the temperature goes up and you explode. So we decided that, one, we need to make some guidelines that help us as a nation to ensure that our steam baths and saunas are safe.
Engineer Flavia Gutowiri, the Executive Secretary of the National Building Review Board, has stated that the risk assessment found out that of every 10 health clubs, 9 were deemed potentially explosive and necessitated immediate corrective measures.
Of the 21 that we visited, 90% use what? Firewood. Now that's where our challenge comes. The ones that use electricity come with their inherent protective system. You'll have a regulator for pressure, you have a regulator for temperature, you have a regulator for everything. Now these ones, where somebody just goes behind and keeps putting in firewood, they keep putting in firewood until you say it is too hot, isn't it? That's what happens. So you regulate the pressure for yourself. And it is not the system regulating the pressure.
Flavia has recommended that Ugandans who frequent health clubs should opt for saunas powered by electricity, as they are subject to better regulation compared to the ones using firewood, where the operation depends on the operator, who may make errors at any time.
And we actually discovered that at the time of the explosion, the pressure was 272% of what it was supposed to have. So this explosion arose because of over pressure.
Disturbing.
Yeah,
disturbing since then.
It is quite absurd. By the way, have you ever gone to the sauna?
I am scared that you guys use firewood. I thought I would go to one. I've never gone to any whatever, but I was planning to go. Now I've just realized that you guys use firewood. Then there can be an explosion. Then it's a bye-bye.
You're missing out.
People are laughing in serious matters. People are losing lives.
Yeah, by the way,
because of too much. How can you choke in a lot of firewood for it's too hot?
Until it is too hot.
But it's your story.
No. You see, National Building Review Board, of course, it did an assessment on these saunas in the country. And it started with the ones in Kampala and found out that 90% of them just use firewood. And I am a witness. I used to go to the saunas.
And by the way, that's a serious business.
Yes, it is serious.
People are making money.
In Kampala. So, and
also
everywhere.
When there's a lot of heat.
And so how much do you pay per entry?
Depends on the health club.
Yeah.
Most hotels have saunas and steam baths.
Exactly. And these people discovered they were doing they were questioning why, finding reasons as to why the sauna in Wakiso and the one in Nigeria of course, exploded, and tragically lives were lost. And they discovered that most of these saunas use firewood. And you cannot regulate firewood compared to electricity. Electricity, this is the amount of heat, it is the one that I put, and then this firewood.
Can't just government put a directive that from today let us start using electricity?
I think with this statistic and with this revelation, they are going to start, because at least now there's confirmed proof that people are actually losing lives due to too much, unregulated health clubs that are using saunas and
it is risky to the people who work in the saunas as well, because in the deaths that have been reported, it is the person operating the sauna who dies first, instant, because it explodes from the behind, and then it also from the inside, people who are inside. It is risking their lives. These people are not professional.
Yes.
They just get boys from the village. You just put firewood. The boy will not determine whether what
the
I
work
put
of
is
the
enough.
boy from the village is to keep putting firewood.
Put firewood
Until when he predicts that it is
and
now.
there are stubborn people in the saunas who are used to this heat.
Okay.
They will keep telling you, we are not feeling the heat.
Yes.
Please increase.
That's true.
But they don't know that this thing can just explode with pressure. Putting a lot of pressure on that thing.
And usually people are just there to steam and lay off some steam.
Exactly.
So if you are not getting the hotness, then increase the fire.
Increase. You'll be there, increase for us. Yogeza home, You know how people
Why do people go to saunas?
Sauna has health benefits, losing
What type of question
calories,
is that?
your skin, you stress, you lose the stress, and it relaxes your mind. It is good.
Yes. Just take it as another form of exercising, of releasing sweat.
People cannot.
You know why people sweat? The more you sweat, the more you become, healthy. Provided you go to the
So
sauna
that
and
means
take
you
water.
cannot go to sauna. You can choose to just do physical exercises and live.
Yes.
And live.
But if you're intoxicated, and it is usually for people who eat a lot, who are fatty, or
and
they
drink.
and alcoholics. To remove that intoxication in the body. But I think that it is a good move of national, board
Review board.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I think it needs to work with government and other parties to ensure that this is stopped, because regulation has
this government.
Yes.
National Building Review Board is under Ministry of Works, and
But
Yes, it is under Ministry of
who
Works.
even inspects a hotel and bees like this health club is of this standard, and the sauna is not supposed to be like this? Are there any reviews or
Is
even
there any body
regulation?
that regulates them?
Yes.
Like you can say capital markets regulates these online
I
whatever.
remember some time back when BS came out with guidelines to the people, to sauna owners and hotel owners on the basics on how the saunas should be. But most, Ugandans, they don't comply. They comply after a problem has happened. Now I'm sure people in Wakiso, that place that exploded in Wakiso and Nigeria, those ones have already complied, because there's a catastrophe that happened.
Actually, they should be banned for some time.
Exactly.
Because people are losing lives.
People are losing lives, exactly.
And it just took us a revelation like this and a press conference like this from National Board Review to realize that people are actually losing lives due to unregulated health clubs that are putting so much firewood in their saunas and steam baths.
They should avoid firewood for
at least for big hotels. The ones I have been to, they usually use electricity.
I think it is even some big hotels, by the way. When you see smoke, actually, they say you will not know that this is a firewood sauna or not. But if you go to that hotel and see smoke coming out the side of the sauna,
You just know these are
firewood. Because electricity
But
does
it's just like we started, it's a good business. And it's yet to be booming. Because, festive season.
It is already booming. It is already booming.
Yeah.
There are some hotels that have already they just concentrate on the saunas and the health clubs. That is where they get their money. They don't have hotels. It's sauna. It is their business, because people go there. Because big people go there. Very rich guys.
I've visto one
politicians. There are so many.
Me, I've been doing physicals. I've been doing physicals. Now this time I'll switch to sauna, and I say, but I'll not go that one that has firewood. You've told me that one with firewood is dangerous. So that means we
it
look
is
for
not
that that has
regulated. It is
electricity.
not
You can
because
never know.
you don't know how much.
I would always go behind and check. Then-
That's a
They even ask them, is your sauna
Ugandans-
electricity? Yeah, you need to know it is for your safety. Ask them.
But
is
otherwise,
your
we
sauna
feel sorry for those guys who lost their lives
Yeah.
in Wakiso and Nigeria, yes?
Yes.
So we feel very sorry as Smart 24
It's
TV.
very
It's
tragic.
very bad. That's a very bad situation.
And
we should always be
we
careful.
Yeah, we upload National Board Review Board for that statistic and the revelation and getting Ugandans to know the impact of having such unregulated saunas that are, putting the lives of Ugandans at stake.
Exactly, and we also call on to the owners of these hotels, please be human enough. Know that this sauna can just explode at any time and kill people. Just comply, put electricity, remove the firewood, because unless you are the person there operating the firewood yourself. But if you just brought someone who does not even understand, because you're just at the mercy of this boy who is handling this thing, which is quite risky, and